Another important ritual we have, and it's a uniquely Unitarian ritual, is our, what we call the flower communion. No, it's really the flower ceremony. And it was created by Norbert Čapek, who founded the Unitarian Church in Czechoslovakia. And he introduced a special service in 1923. We just celebrated the 100th anniversary a couple of years ago. And Norbert Čapek, he met his future wife, Czech-born Maya, in New York City while he was studying for his PhD. And it was her urging, because she was Unitarian, that Norbert left the Baptist ministry and turned to Unitarianism. And the Čapeks returned to Czechoslovakia in 1921 and established an incredibly dynamic liberal church in Prague. Maya herself was ordained in 1926. But by 1941, that Prague church had 3,200 members. 3,200. It was the largest Unitarian congregation in the world. And when they first started that church, they felt there was a need for some symbolic ritual that would bind people, connect people together. But that church, a lot of people had fled from other religions, and so the idea of a typical Christian communion of bread and wine would not work for that congregation. So he turned to the native beauty of the countryside around Prague. And he thought this simple service is a result of bringing flowers together and giving them to one another. And it was held yearly, every summer, before recess. And it was brought to the United States by Norbert Čapek's wife, Maya, in 1940, when she was touring the United States. And the first flower communion took place in the United States at the Cambridge, Massachusetts church. Unfortunately, Maya was not able to return to Czechoslovakia due to the outbreak of the Second World War. And it's only at the end of the war, when she returned to Czechoslovakia, they found out Norbert Čapek died in Dachau concentration camp. He had resisted the Nazis in many ways, including sheltering Jews and other refugees from that regime. In honor of Norbert Čapek and all people who have throughout history and who currently resist fascism, I invite you to take a time of silence. Thank you. So from this beginning in Prague and from this beginning in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the flower ceremony has spread to many of our Unitarian Universalist churches, including Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Redwood City. Of course, it's been adapted along the way. Some, I know I brought my spin on it when I came here a few years ago. Everyone has got their own spin on the flower communion. And that's what's wonderful about liberal progressive religion. It doesn't stay static, it's dynamic. You are all asked to bring a flower of your choice. If you do not have a flower, I would remind you there's flowers at the back of the sanctuary that you can, Ellen's pointing out, you can pick one. Now, you may have brought a flower from your garden, from your neighbour's garden, hopefully with the permission, but not necessarily. I'm not going to be a judge. Fields, roadside, or your favourite grocery store. This is a flower that you chose, that you brought to this space at this time. And the flower symbolises the gifts that we all bring to religious community and how we come here through our own free will. You will receive a flower later, most likely a flower brought by someone else. selected by someone else and given to you in the aisle here as part of the receiving of flower communion. So this is a flower that was brought by someone else, selected by someone else for you. And that symbolizes the gift of religious community. We all bring a diversity of skills and talents to this religious community. And this religious community would not be the same without the contribution of each of us. That is what the flower ceremony symbolizes. We're now going to have the time of giving the flowers. Look what we just created. Flower arrangers couldn't do any better. Communion is the bond that unites us with each other and with the divine that each of us connects with. Communion is an act of radical interdependence, not independence, radical interdependence. The significance of the flower communion is that no two flowers are alike, just as no two people are alike. No community would be the same if one person was not part of that community. Thus, this act that we have created shows the creative power of community to create richness, diversity, and beauty. And by exchanging flowers later, we are showing our commitment to walk with each other together in this spiritual life journey where none of us know the destination. But we are making the statement that we want to walk together with one another. And the flower communion is very important as part of our liberal religious tradition because it says that we come here freely and we bring our gifts freely and we share them freely. I want to now do what's called a consecration of our flowers. And the words I will use, consecration essentially means a blessing. And the words I'll use are a translation from the Czech of the words that Norbert Čapek used for his ceremony in Prague. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask blessings on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of life's most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship with them. And may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do thy work in the world. Blessed be, and amen. I'd like to invite you now into the spirit of prayer. And this prayer is also written in a translation. It was written by Dr. Norbert Čapek, and it's translated from the Czech. It was also the prayer he said at his flower ceremonies in Prague. And there's some gendered language in it, which I'm keeping in acknowledgement and tribute to Norbert Čapek himself, since they're his words. In the name of providence, which implants in the seed of the future of the tree and in the hearts of each of us the longing for people to be living in love. In the name of the highest in whom we move and who makes the mother and father, the brother and sister what they are. In the name of the sages and the great religious leaders who sacrificed their lives to hasten the coming of peace and justice. Let us renew our resolution, sincerely to be real brothers and sisters, regardless of any kind of bar which estranges us from one to the other. In this holy tradition, in this holy resolution, may we be strengthened, knowing that we are God's family, that one Spirit, the Spirit of love, unites us, and may we endeavor for a more perfect and more joyful life. I invite you to join me in a time of silence. We will now have the next part of the flower ceremony, where again I will invite you to come forward, starting in the back row, coming down the side aisles, choosing a flower, and then when you meet in the middle, exchange it with the person coming from the other side of the aisle. So this is a flower someone else brought for you, someone else chose for you, and then you will have the physical gift here in this aisle. And as you get your flower and return to your seat, examine the new flower that's been given to you. As we did before, smell it, touch it, caress it, examine it, the nooks and crannies, which I've now been told is an American word. 2 words, 3 words. But really examine that and really know and think of all the hands and of our siblings throughout the world, the sun, the water, the earth, that allowed that creation to come forth as a gift to you. And if that's not grace, I don't know what is. So we'll now have the receiving the gifts of the flower ceremony. So look at your flower and enjoy it. Smell it. Flowers are beautiful, but they're also tough and resilient. This stole that I'm wearing was given to me by the congregation I left in Texas. And these are Texas wildflowers. And they're tough. They survive 105 degrees in the summer, little water, and yet they're beautiful. So remember, it's okay to be beautiful and tough at the same time, because life requires that of us. So thank you all for participating in our flower ceremony today. And for those of you doing it for the first time, I hope it was meaningful for you, and it is a uniquely Unitarian ceremony and ritual.